Alright guys, YFavo here. In the last section of videos we basically went over setting up the quarantine tank and the hardware needed for that. This section of videos is going to be about preparing it for your fish. So what I have here is a ammonium chloride solution, and then I have 3 test kits for ammonia, nitrite and nitrate. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to add ammonia to the tank as if there were live fish in the tank already. So this is going to allow me to test whether or not the tank is fish ready and that the nitrogen cycle has completed within the tank to allow for the removal of ammonia and nitrite. So in order to do that, we use our ammonium chloride here, and I need to add 1 drop of solution per gallon to bring the concentration of ammonia up to 2 parts per million. So I'm going to do that right now, and then I will check it again in 24 hours and we'll have a look at the test kits and see what they did for us. So I'm going to go ahead and add 30 drops of ammonium chloride, and I will see you guys back here again tomorrow for some water testing. Alright everyone, so it's been 24 hours since I added the ammonium chloride to the quarantine tank. During that time what I did is I went and ran the exact same tests, ammonia, nitrite and nitrate, with the water from my display tank. And those tests are in the vials containing the white caps to the left. So let's start with ammonia. On initial inspection it looks quite dark. This is just because the solution is dark and you really do need to hold it up to the light. So we're looking for yellow basically. Oh, I apologize. We're looking for this one. So it's not quite yellow, but it is basically yellow with a tinge of green. As we come up and we hold it up to the light there, you can see that is basically what we are after. There we go, that's better. So that's what we're after. This is the display tank and this is the quarantine tank. So as you can see, the nitrogen cycle is completed enough so that ammonia is now being removed from the water. So let's go back and take a look at nitrite. Again, display tank, quarantine tank. I'm going to have a look at these two side by side, and I'm going to say that it might be difficult for you guys to tell, but the quarantine tank is getting a slight reading on the nitrite. So that, I would say, is an equal to 0.02 parts per million as we see it on the card here. Maybe I can get that to focus in. There we go. So the quarantine tank is reading here, I would say, whereas the display tank is reading 0 parts per million. So the nitrogen cycle is pretty much complete on that side of things, but I think we're going to need to add some additional ammonia to the quarantine tank tonight and rerun the nitrite test tomorrow. And as we come over here and we look at nitrate, well, again, if we compare it to the card, I'm going to say it's about 0.5 part per million. It's not quite pink, but it's not quite white either. So holding it up to the card, I'm going to say that's 0 parts per million. Again, this is the display tank, this is the quarantine tank. So there we have it. That is the first round of water testing on the quarantine tank water. I would say by this time tomorrow that the nitrite will be removed from the quarantine tank, and I will do an additional test tomorrow and I will follow up with you guys then. Alright guys, so it's been 24 hours since my initial round of water testing, and as I said, I was going to retest nitrite after adding an additional amount of ammonia to the tank yesterday, and unfortunately that nitrite is still being detected on the quarantine tank. And I was looking back and I was thinking, well, why is that nitrite still being detected? I had used water from my display tank and I had used filter media that was preceded when it was in my display tank sump. And the only thing that I could come up with is that it just wasn't enough nitrifying bacteria in that pre-seeded media to deal with the amount of ammonia that was being added to the quarantine tank. So the new fish are arriving tomorrow, so in less than 24 hours I have to figure out a way to get rid of any detectable traces of nitrite, otherwise the fish are going to have a bad time. So I don't really have much of a choice, so I had to go out to my local LFS and I picked up a batch of the Dr. Tim's One and Only, and this is the 2-ounce bottle and it treats up to 30 gallons. So I'm just going to basically go ahead and add this to the tank right now. And for those of you who aren't familiar with this product, it's basically nitrifying bacteria in a bottle. That's all it is. The only thing you need to do is give it a little bit of a shake, and then you pour it straight into your tank. It's recommended that you wait up to 24 hours after you initially pour it in, or 24 to 48 hours I should say, and you want to basically make sure your skim is turned off, ozone and UV as well, and then remove any filter socks that you might have in there as well, if you're using a sump. Obviously in this case I'm not, so I don't need to worry about that, and any mechanical media that I do have, I want it to absorb the Dr. Tim's, because that's where ultimately the bacteria is going to, ultimately where the bacteria is going to live. So that's it for now, guys. We will come back tomorrow. The next round of videos will be for those new fish and the unboxing of the order from Blue Zoo Aquatics, which I am very excited about. I cannot wait to get new fish, and I hope I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, bye.